My main mission is to keep strengthening the relations between the U.S. and the Netherlands.
Thank you, Ambassador Broas, for providing us, the American School of The Hague, with the opportunity to welcome you as the U.S. Ambassador to the Netherlands. Could you give us a brief overview of your career in education?
Of course. But first of all, welcome to the residence. It's good to see you again. I'm always happy to support the American School of The Hague. It's a great school, and I'm glad we're able to do this. I went to college in Boston, at a school called Boston College. I studied economics and history there. And then I went on to law school. I wanted to be a lawyer. I went to school at William and Mary College in Virginia. And then after that, I practiced law in New York and Washington, D.C. for 30-plus years. And then last year, I was lucky enough to have President Obama nominate me for this position, and so now I'm in a different career.
And up to this moment, what have been some highlights of your career?
Well, as an ambassador, the highlight was the very first day, maybe the second day I was here. I arrived one day and we did a rehearsal, and then the next day I went and presented my credentials to the king. And I was in a morning suit and driven in a red carriage, and went to the palace and walked into the courtyard, and there was the Dutch Army band, and they played the Star-Spangled Banner. And that was when I realized that this was real, and this was going to happen. So that was a very exciting moment. And then presenting my credentials to the king and talking with the king was very, very exciting. And I've had several interesting experiences since then. Speaking at the Margraten Cemetery for our Memorial Day services was a very, very moving and meaningful experience for me. And just seeing that cemetery with 7,300 or 8,300 graves of American soldiers was very, very moving for me. And then recently I was able to participate in the Market Garden commemoration ceremonies in September, commemorating the 70th anniversary of the Market Garden campaign that the Allies, the Brits, the Americans, and the Polish performed in liberating Holland 70 years ago. So those are just a few of the highlights, but I'm sure there's more to come.
What do you think are the skills and qualities necessary to become a successful diplomat or ambassador?
Well, I think once someone is intent on a career in the Foreign Service, I think they have to have a passion for foreign relations and a passion for U.S. politics. I don't think you can really become involved in the Foreign Service as a diplomat without those two critical ingredients. I think it's important to have an interest or some educational background in international relations, and obviously an interest in the country that you're going to serve. And last but not least, most important, is to be the best you can be at your post.
How do you view The Hague from a global perspective as the international city of peace and justice?
Well, I came here as a lawyer 30-plus years ago to represent clients who were suing the government of Iran in connection with the U.S.-Iran claims. And that court is here, and it's still here, 30 years later. But I came here, my first experience ever in The Hague, and I recognized even then that this was the global seat of law and peace and justice in the world. And I always thought that that was, Washington or New York, but it's clearly The Hague. And ever since then, there have been so many new courts that have opened up here, and now that I'm here permanently, I see that it has expanded even more. And not just the Yugoslavian tribunals and the Lebanon tribunals, but the International Criminal Court, Europol, Eurojust, the European Patent Office. So it is a very, very, very well-known destination for legal disputes and legal resolution.
Exactly. What is your mission?
Well, my main mission is to keep strengthening the relations between the U.S. and the Netherlands. That's the overall mission of every ambassador. Exactly. We have good relations with the Dutch, very good relations. But my goal is to make them even stronger. On a specific basis, I'm very interested in getting the trade treaty, which is known as TTIP. I'm very interested in getting that passed while I'm here. That's happening between the U.S. and the EU, but each of the member countries of the EU are involved, and they are having negotiations with our government about those treaties. And so that's one of my main goals, is to see that TTIP gets passed. And another thing I'm very interested in is improving national security in the United States and here, and in partnership with the Dutch. And we have a great military partnership with the Dutch.
We have noticed, also of a side note, that you're an enthusiastic bike rider. Do you have the possibility to enjoy the beauty of the Dutch bike lanes with all the security surrounding you?
Yes, I do. And that was something I was concerned about when I got here, but
Yeah.
my security detail is very, very willing to accommodate me. And they ride behind me, and they stay a healthy distance behind me, and there's no problems at all.
Do you really enjoy it?
I love it. It's one of my favorite things.
How many bikes do you have?
Well, I have my road bike, which is my main bike, but I also have a couple of Dutch bikes here that I use for shorter transportation. But
Yeah.
I use the road bike to go out on the dunes.
That's beautiful, yeah.
It is.
Yeah. What is your golden advice for students who are interested in an international career or even diplomacy or politics?
The main advice I would give is to just open your world and move beyond the community and the world that you're in. Study history, travel, learn a foreign language. And I tell this to my children all the time. Widen your world. It's a big world out there. And in order to become a successful diplomat, you really have to be a student of the world. And learning a foreign language, I think, is absolutely critical.
Thank you. This has been a very interesting interview. Thank you for your time, for your effort.
My pleasure.